Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for your questions about buying this or any watch you see here on our channel or on our website. Reach out to me directly, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Today we're discussing a model launched in 2013. 39mm in white gold. This is the Lange Sohne 1815 up-down, so named for its up and down indication on the 3-day power reserve gauge. Now the timepiece is 39mm by 9mm thick, so it's nice and slim on the wrist, and 46mm from lug to lug across the wrist. The spacing between the lugs is 20mm, so it'll take many different straps made in that universal size. On my 16cm circumference wrist, it wears easily and comfortably, flat flush, ducks under a cuff with no trouble whatsoever. This is a dress watch par excellence. Take a quick look at the hardware and the software, and you can see that the strap itself is a Lange factory strap in outstanding brand new condition. Calfskin on the underside, large rectangular scale alligator leather on the top, a monotone stitch, a folded edge, thin and fine like the watch, a simple matching white gold, I should say, pin buckle, and the white gold pin buckle, as with the watch, is thoughtfully designed. Not just handsome, as you can see, it's nicely polished and faceted externally, but it has a little retaining bar inside. You see that bar underneath the pin? Well, that's there for those of us with small wrists. If you use the smallest hole, or like me, you tend to punch a smaller one on your strap, sometimes your strap can get pinned on the pin, so to speak. So to prevent it from becoming inextricably bound on your wrist, there's this little retaining bar that makes it easy to remove the strap even if the watch is really buckled down tight. There's also an elevated bridge over the prongs at the edge, so you can see how the strap sits inside this buckle rather than stacking up underneath it. It's a clever design on several levels. The case is handsome, simple and sharp, with satin finished mid case, and then you can see there's a polished case back, and there's a double stacked, gently stepped flank to the bezel. You see that double step, and then there's a domed profile. The lugs are stepped out as separate components, and you can see that they are assembled and sculpturally separate from a visual standpoint. So this case has a little bit of an anachronistic look. Every Lange seems to be a bit of a cross between a pocket watch and a wristwatch. You have the Lange Sohne branded crown, and you'll note there's polish on the lugs themselves with a little bit of a transitional bevel, polished bezel, and then a dial that is white silver anodized, or I should say galvanized, but the dial made of sterling silver is precious metal in its own right. So the case is white gold, the dial is sterling silver, and then it is galvanized to create this silver white that you see. There is an azurage or concentric circular guilloche on each of the sub-registers, which you'll note are cut into the dial, and then there's a disc at center that is on a lower plane than the hour track. The hour track featuring Arabic numerals, because this is the 1815 collection, with a railroad style stepped minutes track outboard and lovely faceted and bright polished fired blue alpha style hands. Absolutely gorgeous. The timepiece does feature stop seconds or hacking, and the power reserve indicator, which traverses all the way up to 72 hours of manual wind power reserve, nicely balances the dial. Now the timepiece is powered by a caliber L9, or I should say L0512. 0512, 29 joules, 5-position adjustment. That's the high horology standard, 5 positions. A lot of pocket watch imagery on the back. We'll start with the basics. It features a swan's neck style click spring, a 3/4 style mono bridge, pivot jewels set in screw fixed chaton, a half bridge that is freehand engraved, and a black polished swan's neck regulator. The movement beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour. It has that 3-day power reserve, the stop seconds function, the 5-position adjustment, the 29 joules, and all of this is water resistant down to 30 meters. The timepiece also features an anachronistic material known as in the French regions of Switzerland, or German silver if we're talking about a watch made in Saxony, as this one is. It's actually nickel copper zinc, with the copper giving the bridges and plates that golden hue. You can also see there are both fired blue and black polished screws. Note, for example, atop the various wheels of the winding system and the ratchet wheel, those are black polished screws, the same on the swan's neck. The black polished screws here are generally used for adjustment, whereas the blued screws are used to fix components in place. Note that the bridges have a beautiful mirrored anglage on their edge. It's spare on this movement, but where it is beautiful. Black polish on the cover to the escape wheel as well as the swan's neck. Note the glasuta stripes laid down with abrasive wheel across the mono bridge, the 3/4 style bridge. You can see they're light on one side, dark on the other. That's the sign of abrasive wheel stripes. The conventional stripes that you'll see on cheaper watches are stamped, and they're the same color or tone, the same darkness or lightness across. You can also appreciate that the half bridge being freehand engraved, well, no two are exactly alike. That is an artisanally crafted component, and then there's engine turning on the base plate. It is gorgeous. If you love this watch, and I can't imagine why you wouldn't, email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.